Hello, everyone, and I hope you're all well. My name is Tanner Dagenais, and I'm the host of Self-Sabotage Solutions. On this podcast, it's my opportunity and my pleasure to be able to share everything I know about self-sabotage. Because I know how important it is to overcome self-sabotage if we want to be able to create the life that we've always wanted to live. If we want to be able to create something better in our life, then we have to address our self-sabotaging behaviors. We have to address the areas in life that we are holding ourselves back and keeping ourselves from becoming something greater than where we are right now. So this is what I'm actually going to be talking about. Something that's very important in overcoming self-sabotage is being aware of our relationship with time. So I'll be explaining what that means. I'll be explaining, or not explaining, I'll be talking about, why it's important we analyze and address how we're spending our time. I'll be talking about how it's important and why it's important to evaluate how we're talking about time. So let's first dig into why being aware of our relationship to time is important. Well, I think most of us understand this, that we only have so much time within a day, right? So every time we use our time on something in a day, we can't use that amount of time on something else. There's an opportunity cost. It's just like using money someplace. If you use your money here, you can't use it there, right? And the great thing is that we're given 24 hours in each day, and there's many hours in everyone's lifetime, but we never know how long we have. So it's important that we use our time we were allotted to us to the best of our abilities to move us forward in the best way possible. So here's a common scenario that I know that happens within our society, and something that I used to do. So I would go to work all day, maybe 9 to 5 or whatever the time frame is, that 8 hour, 9 hour job. And you get home and all you want to do is just binge watch TV, play video games, play endless hours of video games, go party, go do something that's not going to be productive with your time. Now, it's important to get, some relaxation time in. It's important to get some of that time in. But if we're always doing that every single day, then we won't have time to do the things that we need to be doing to move forward. So most of us are in a job that we maybe don't want to be in our whole life, right? So what are you doing in your free time that's going to be pushing you towards a job that you do want to be in, right? Are you going to be, let's say you want to create your own business, you want to run your own business, you don't want to be working for someone else, you want to work for yourself. Well, if you're always spending your time, watching Netflix, playing video games, partying, instead of actually working on your business, then your business is not going to get off the ground very quick or even at all. And I think many people know this, but yet they're still allowing themselves to do this. And then they wonder why their life hasn't been changing. And it's because they're not actually taking their time and using it in a efficient way, or in a way that's going to be helping them. Instead, they're using it in a way to keep them where they are, to keep them mediocre, to keep them, the same. And it's part of the reason why is because it can be scary to put yourself out there. It can be scary to go and make changes, right? And a part of our mind does not like that fear, does not like that, does not like going to something that's different. Essentially, it really likes things that are familiar. This is part of your mind, the subconscious mind. I'm sure you've probably heard me talk about it if you listen to my past podcast, but this part of your mind is really all about focusing on what is familiar. What is the thing that we've been doing our whole life? That's probably the safest thing for us to do. Or what is the thing that we've been seeing other people do around us? That might be a safe thing to do as well. So it's important that we're aware of, our relationship with time, and that we're aware of that why it's actually harder to make those changes sometimes than we may want. But the good news is that our subconscious may be doing that thing, but we can always consciously take action. We can consciously be aware and start analyzing how we're spending that time. And we can start putting the puzzle pieces together. Oh, look, I'm spending all my time here. No wonder I'm not progressing in this area of my life. Or I'm always using my time in this area and never in this area. So I need to start, allocating some time, some of my resources over to that area of life. So that's why being aware of our relationship with time is important. And I also want to talk about our relationship with time. Is, are we a victim of time? There's a lot of people think they're like a victim of time. Oh, I only have so much time. I'm out of time, or I'm stuck in this time. So, let's say you're stuck in traffic and you're like, oh no, I'm running out of time, right? That puts you as a victim of time. You can't necessarily control the traffic, so just do your best to make yourself enjoy it. Do your best to make it so it's a good experience as possible, and you'll get there when you get there. Worrying about that time is not going to help you, and it's only going to make you a victim and essentially increase your stress levels, which is self-sabotage. So start to let go of that victim mentality with time. We are all part of time. We are life itself. So allow yourself to just be okay with what is happening in that current time. If you don't, and something I also want to talk about is just kind of why people are so negative about the time that they do have. Some people believe that, oh, since I only have so long to live, I'm just going to live it up, and I'm just going to, party nonstop, and I'm going to drink myself into the ground. So, a common phrase is YOLO, you only live once, right? But in my opinion, it's kind of the opposite, actually. We actually live every single day. We live every single moment. We only die once, right? So it's more important to be looking at how we are living, because we can actually affect the changes we're doing, the thoughts we're having can actually affect our life, the quality of our life, the quality of the time that we're spending in our life. So it's important that you set yourself up for success and don't put yourself down that rabbit hole of the negativity and the victim set mentality, right? So that brings me to my next point of, how are we spending our time? Are you spending your time working towards your goals, your dreams, or are you making excuses? This kind of goes back to me talking about, like, when you get home from work and all you do is just binge watch television instead of working on your dreams and your goals. There's only so much time we have in a given day. And we're not necessarily victims of time, but we need to be smart about how we're spending our time, right? Because that time is a valuable resource. So many people wish they would have spent their time differently back in the day so that they could be in a better spot where they are now. If you ask someone who's older, what do you think, or what's something you wish you would have done back in the day? A lot of times people would have said that I wish I would have started my business sooner. I wish I would have started, eating healthier sooner. I wish I would have started enjoying my time more sooner. The good news is you can start that right now. Start enjoying your time now. Start working towards your dreams and goals. Don't allow yourself to be held down by your vices any longer. And a vice, many people think of vices as like alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, or whatever. It could be your television. It could be your Netflix. It could be video games. It could be, it could be exercise in a way too. It could be so many different things, right? But what is a vice? A vice is essentially something that holds you down. It's a tool that's used in like a workshop that holds things down. And that's kind of actually the way it is in our lives as well. When people use them, they use it as a way to hold themselves down from becoming better, to hold themselves from rising up, to make themselves feel better about where they are. And then the problem with that is feeling better about where you are. Let's say you're not in a spot that you want to be in life, right? But you're smoking marijuana every day. And this is something that I used to do. I used to smoke marijuana every single day. And I'd tell myself, oh, it makes me enjoy my life more. But what I was actually doing was keeping myself content with where I was. And that's a big problem, because the reason why we get upset with our life, the reason why we get frustrated with our life, is because that frustration, that pain that we're feeling is supposed to be motivating us, pushing us towards the life that we want. And so I was ignoring that pain, that by sedating myself, by using my vices, spending my time using my vices to distract myself instead of using my time to be, addressing the root cause of my pain, the root cause of my frustrations. Instead of, making my life better and working towards something that I do want to be doing, I was just using it all playing video games. So of course, I was going to be stuck in that, and I was going to have to rely on that vice. I was going to have to rely on the marijuana every single day to make my life feel better, because I wasn't going to be changing anything, because I was going to be spending all my time playing video games or getting high or drinking alcohol, or distracting, partying, going play beer pong and all that stuff. So important that we address how we're spending our time. What is your relationship with time? Once again, we all have this ability. We're all conscious individuals. We can all analyze what we've been doing. And essentially we're just paying attention to what you were doing as like a third party. So like, oh, hey, today I want to do this. Today I want to do this. Today I want to do this. Were any of these things leading me towards a better life? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, maybe the past week, have I been done anything productive to lead me towards the life I do want to be living? If the answer is no, you need to ask yourself why. Is it because you're scared? Are you afraid of moving towards your best life? Are you afraid of making those changes? Are you using the vice to hold yourself down? Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, how do we talk about time? And talking about time, there's a couple different ways you can do it. And what I mean by this is, a lot of people say, like, let's say they have so much stuff going on in a day. They say, I don't have the time. Well, you do have the time. It is that you need to prioritize something else, is really what you're saying. And so maybe like this is the case. You have a kid, right? And your kid really wants to play catch with you. Your kid keeps asking you to play catch. And you look over at him and you say, I don't have the time for this. I'm sorry, I don't have the time. But the thing is, you do have the time. So you need to tell your kid, hey, I'm sorry, I really need to prioritize my work right now. But I will make you a priority, and then tell them like a certain time that you'll make them a priority. And that will usually be a lot better received than saying, I don't have the time, right? Because that just makes them think you don't have the time for them. You don't have the time for this thing. And it may not even be a person. It may not even be a person. It might be, your business. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the time for working out. I don't have the time for eating healthy. I don't have the time for making my own food. What you're really telling yourself is those things aren't important when you're saying that. I don't have the time for this. Right? Instead of saying, I need to prioritize this right now. This is the highest priority. So you need to start addressing the way you're talking, because how we're saying things has a very big impact on our life, and a very impact on our beliefs, and a very impact on just our overall on our overall experience in life, on our overall experience in time that we're experiencing, right? So the next thing I want to talk about is, in the future, I will get this done. How often do we tell ourselves this? This is procrastination, right? I will do this in the future. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll do this the next day. I'll do this anytime but now, right? So we're always telling ourselves that we're going to be doing it in the future. We're telling ourselves we're going to be doing it tomorrow. The problem is that the future, that tomorrow is always a day away. Because when you get to tomorrow, what day is it? It's now. And then tomorrow is the next day after that. So this part of your mind, the subconscious, is hearing that. And is what's really hearing is that we don't have time for this. This is actually not important. This should be pushed off. Instead of saying, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done on this day at this time, and make a plan of it, right? You need to be assertive, and you need to plan your time. You don't have to have super set schedules, but you do need to stop telling yourself you're going to do this in the future. You're going to do, and just be super blank about it, right? That's only going to hold yourself back. And really, it happens all the time. Why are you, instead of just pushing it off, maybe wonder yourself, why are you pushing it off right now? What's more important than it? And when are you going to actually find the time to do it? Then make that plan. If it is tomorrow, then say, I'm going to get this done. If tomorrow is Tuesday, I want to get this done on Tuesday at this time. Tell yourself you're going to do it, right? Tell yourself you're going to do this thing and then go out and do it. Follow through. Another one that I want to talk about, another way we talk about time that could be self-sabotage, is saying, in the future, I will be happy. And this kind of goes back to the same thing we were just talking about, right? In the future, I'll be happy. I'll be happy when I have this. I'll be happy, blah, blah, blah. We're putting like a restriction on our happiness, or we're putting a restriction on our confidence, or whatever it is, right? Where we're telling ourselves we're not going to be happy until we have this thing, or we're not going to be happy until tomorrow, or we're not going to be happy until blah, blah, blah. But what we're really telling ourselves is that we're not happy now. But we need to be happy now. We need to allow ourselves to be happy now. We need to allow ourselves to be confident now. We need to allow ourselves to enjoy ourselves now. It's not, you don't always have to be happy every single moment, but you have to be able to allow yourself to enjoy what you're going through in life. Not every moment's going to be easy. Not every moment's going to be, happy, go jolly, snapping your thumbs and whistling, but you can still make the best of each and every situation. Don't be a victim of time, right? Choose how you're going to be spending that time. So, you can choose to be angry in the traffic, like we were talking about, or you can choose to enjoy that time, right? So tell yourself you are happy now. And this is actually really important. This is actually, I talk about this in my affirmations video. So if you want to learn more about how to create proper affirmations, and I highly recommend you learn how to create proper affirmations, because the way we speak to ourselves, like I was talking about, is so important if we want to overcome self-sabotage, because the way we speak to ourselves directly affects our life. We have the ability to create as humans. We have the ability to create, essentially our reality. Have you ever heard of the placebo effect? And I am kind of getting a little off track here, but I think it's an important point to make. So the placebo effect is when, we believe something's going to happen, so it does. So maybe there's a bunch of people who are given alcohol and one person's only given water. So that person who's given water pretends like they're getting drunk too, or they believe that they're getting drunk because everyone else got it as well, right? So the same thing can happen, and there's so many different placebo effects that have happened before, where someone has a belief in something and they're able to heal their bodies, right? So what my main point is that our beliefs and our thoughts have a huge impact on our life. It's not just that, I had a negative thought, whatever, right? You had that negative thought and now you're going to be manifesting more negative things. And I don't say that to say that you can never have a negative thought again. But what you want to do if you have a negative thought is address the fact that you had a negative thought, accept it, but okay, I'm going to actually replace that with something better. And what you'll start to find is if it's common for you in your life to have a bunch of negative thoughts, you'll start to find that you'll start to have more positive thoughts that come to you over time. So, changing the way you're thinking can really affect the time that you are spending within your life. And allow yourself to be happy now. Allow yourself to get things done at a day instead of pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. Set that date. Set the intention. Tell yourself you will do it. The next thing you want to talk about is one that is really common that I hear all the time. And this has to do with time in a way. So, our age has to do with time, right? How long we've been living. And a lot of people, as they're getting older, tell themselves, oh, I'm getting old. Oh, I got this back pain. Oh, I'm getting so old. Oh, my knees are popping. Oh, I'm getting so old. what that's really telling your body is that getting old has, a bunch of pain in it. It has knees popping, it has back pain, it has all these things. So as you get older, you're going to be experiencing more and more of that because you're literally creating that for yourself. You're manifesting for that for yourself. You are using the placebo effect to create that for yourself, right? So these, our thoughts are essentially blueprints of what our subconscious mind and our mind is going to be trying to create within our life. So the more you're able to direct your thoughts to actually what you want in life, the more that you're going to be able to create that change in your life. This is really important because it's actually one of the big reasons why people have a lot of self-sabotaging issues is they tell themselves they may want to, work out. They may have a conscious decision of wanting to eat healthier or whatever, right? But they have some beliefs that are holding them back. They have some beliefs that, working out's not fun. They have some beliefs that they don't have enough time to work out. They get some beliefs that, it's too expensive to work out, right? And those are contradictory, and that's causing that pain. And they're not allocating their time in a correct way. So, you need to associate all these different things together. But really, what we talked about today, and this will be a shorter one today, is, why is our relationship to time important? And we talked about that, right? We only have so much time given in a day. We need to look at how we're spending our time, because if we're always spending our time on something that's not going to be helping us forward, if it's like a vice that we're holding on to so that we can stay exactly where we are in life, then we're not going to be creating the life that we want. We're not going to be able to move forward in life the way that we want to. We're not going to be able to create that life. We're going to be stuck. We're going to be stuck living the same life over and over, relying on our vices to be able to move forward in life or to feel good about ourselves in life. But that's the big problem, right? You're not hearing what's wrong. You're not hearing that you're feeling that pain. You're not hearing that you're feeling that frustration with where you are, because you're distracting yourself from it because you're so busy all the time. And this is one of the other things I want to talk about a little bit as well, is the busy bee. Someone who distracts themselves so much, puts so much stuff in their time. So they're always busy, 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 busy. And they miss all the small things in life. They're so busy running around with their head cut off like a chicken that they're distracting themselves from what they need to be actually doing in life. Maybe they need to be addressing the way they're feeling. If they need to be addressing the way they're talking, they need to be showing, some family members some love. They need to be doing something else, but they're distracting themselves constantly. And you know what this will lead to eventually? It will lead to burnout. So, the people who are the busy bees, sometimes they're the people pleasers, the person who's always doing something for someone else. So even if they have a bunch of other things to do with their life, they're going to go help someone else, which is not necessarily a bad trait to help other people, right? But you always need to help yourself first. And the reason why is because, once again, we only have so much time. And we only have so many resources to ourselves. We only have so much energy. We only have so much money. We only have so much time in a day. So if we're using all those things on other people, then we're going to run out of it for ourselves. And that will lead to burnout, where we're actually going to be not able to do the things that we want. We're going to have really low energy. We're going to feel like we're sick. We might get sick. We might show signs of a sickness or a disease. We might start to get really frustrated very easily, right? It will take an effect on our bodies and our minds, and we'll essentially be forced to slow down, because that's kind of the way the universe works, right? If you're always rushing all the time, the universe is going to give you a sign to slow down. Or if you're always eating super unhealthy, the universe is going to give you a sign to slow down, or life will essentially give you a sign to start eating healthy. But so many of us are missing those signs that come through us time and time again. The signs that are, hey, you need to start to eat healthy. Hey, you need to start working better. Hey, you need to start to be more aware of how you're using your time. So, if you can take anything away from this today, I want you to take away and to, I guess, analyze how you're spending your time in your day. Is it leading you towards the life that you want? Or is it taking you farther away from it? Or is it just keeping you exactly where you are? And it could be a little mix of both, of everything. But ask yourself, if you continue doing exactly what you've been doing, are you going to be going towards the life that you want? Are you going to be able to get to where you want in life as quick as you want to? If not, then you need to address it and start making some changes. You have that ability. Then ask yourself, how are you talking about time, about everything in general? What are your thoughts? What are your overarching thoughts? Are they negative? Are you playing a victim? Are you playing, are you telling yourself you're going to do things in the future? Are being a procrastinator? Are you telling yourself that you're not happy now by associating your future happiness with something else, or your confidence or success or whatever it is, right? Are you telling yourself you're getting old, that you are going to be experiencing more pain? These things are all really important to address. So I hope you all learned something today. If you want to hear me talk about something specific, please leave a comment, reach out to me. I would love to make a podcast especially for you, or a Facebook Live, or anything like that. I would love to talk about anything that you may be interested in hearing about, more about. Please give it a like, please subscribe, please share with other people. It's very important that we get this information out to as many people as possible. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you for listening. Once again, my name is Tanner Dagenais. This is Self-Sabotage Solutions. Today we talked about time, what our relationship with time is, how we spend our time, and how we talk about time. Thank you.